Megan Chandler, and today I will be discussing later times equals focused months. What if I told you school could start later in the day? Research in the 90s found that later sleep and wake patterns among adolescents are biologically determined. The natural tendency for teenagers is to stay up late at night and wake up later in the morning. A recent poll conducted by the National Sleep Foundation found that 60% of children under the age of 18 complained of being tired during the day, and 15% said they fell asleep at school sometime during the year. I found that only about 8% of high school students get enough sleep on an average school night. Others are living with borderline to serious deficiencies that could lead to daytime drowsiness, depression, headaches, and poor performance at school. It's found that 10% of adolescents sleep only 5 hours and 23% sleep only 6 hours on an average school night. On April 2nd of 1999, Zoe Lofgren introduced a congressional resolution to encourage schools and school districts to reconsider early morning start times to be more in sync with teens' biological makeup. House of Congressional Resolution 135 would encourage individual schools all over the country to move school start times no earlier than 8:30 a.m. The Congresswoman said, "Over time, sleep deprivation leads to serious consequences for academic achievement, social behavior, and the health and safety of our nation's youth. We must encourage schools to push back their start times to at least 8:30 a.m., a schedule more in tune with adolescents' biological sleep and wake patterns, and more closely resembles the adult work day." A study by Dr. Kayla Wallstrom at the University of Minnesota demonstrates the impact of pushing back school start times. After the Minneapolis Public School District changed the time of 7 high schools, the doctor investigated the impact on student performance, and the results were encouraging. It was found that students benefited by obtaining 5 or more extra hours of sleep per week. With the resumption of school classes in the fall, start times are likely to remain a hot topic. This far, individual schools or districts in 19 states have pushed back their start times, and more than 100 schools in additional of 17 states are considering doing so. She found improvements in attendance, increasing enrollment, less tardiness, increasing in daytime alertness, better grades. The students were able to gain an average of about 1 hour of sleep per night, since their bedtimes wound up staying the same. They were eating breakfast more frequently and being able to complete more of their homework during school hours, all because they were more alert during the day. There were also reductions in the likelihood of experiencing depressed moods, tardiness, being absent, risk of nutritional discrepancies associated with obesity, and reduced risk of drowsy driving. There's a reason why I chose to say reduced with drowsy driving last. This finding is especially important considering data from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, which estimates that there have been up to 100,000 police-reported crashes, 48,000 injuries, and more than 1,550 fatalities a year. These crashes are related to drowsy driving. That is 55% of crashes that happen from just being tired. There is no denying that driving under the influence of sleepiness is just as fatal as driving drunk. Researchers have discovered that after being awake for 18 hours, an individual's judgment, reaction time, and general alertness is worse than someone with a blood alcohol concentration of 0.05. A person is considered legally drunk if the BAC exceeds 0.08. As you can see, starting schools earlier can cause daytime drowsiness, depression, headaches, poor performance at school, and possibly a car accident. If we start school no earlier than 8:30 a.m., students will be able to complete more of their homework during school hours, would be less moody, and would be less tardy, be absent less, and risk of obesity wouldn't be as high. If you would like to get involved in promoting this idea, you can vote online to help those who want to start their school later. You can also get your community to get involved by starting a petition which can be presented to your school board. There are numerous ways you can get involved to help promote the idea of starting school later. I would like to take the time to say thank you for listening.